Good day everyone, I'm Rodel Casas and I will discuss to you the module 32, which is the conditional probability. So first, what is conditional probability? The probability of an event occurring given that another event has already occurred is called conditional probability. So meaning, there is an event that has already given, either event A or event B. So what are the formula in conditional probability? So first, the conditional probability of an event B is the probability that the event will occur given that event A has already occurred. In general, the conditional probability of B given that A has occurred is probability of B given that A has occurred is equal to number of A intersection B over number of A. So it is read as probability of B given that A is occurred. So the symbol between B and A gives us the word given that, meaning the event is already occurred. So after this symbol, event A is um, already given, which means we need to find the probability of B. So later I will discuss to you the how are we going to use that. So sa number 2, the conditional probability of an event A is the probability that the event will occur given that event B has already occurred. So baliktad naman. Si event B naman yung given. In general, the conditional probability of A given that B has occurred is probability of A given that B is occurred is equal to number of A intersection B over number of B. Since yung given natin is event B, ayun yung magiging denominator natin. And if we need to find the probability of A, event A will be the first one to write before the given event B. So if we need to use to find the probability of B given that A is occurred, this is the formula that we need to use. And if we need to find the probability of A given that B is occurred, this is the formula that we need to use. So malinaw, kapag hahanapin natin si probability of B, letter B yung una nating sinusulat. Kasunod nun yung given, which is yung event A. And then yung denominator nun, number of A, since ito yung ating given. Ganun din sa number 2. If we need to find the probability of A, probability or the letter A must be the one or must be the first one to write in this formula. And then kasunod nun si event B, which is the event that is already occurred. And then for the denominator, number of B, because the only given that we have is the event B. So for example, a pair of dice is rolled once. Find the probability that one of the dice shows a 3 if it is known that the sum is 7. Meaning, the sum is 7 is already given. But here in the letter B, binaliktad na natin, one of the dice shows a 3 is already given. So this is the table for us to identify which are the shows a 3 and then the sum is 7. So let A be the event that the sum is 7. So A, we need to identify which are the elements that the sum is 7. So 1 plus 6 is 7, 2 plus 5 is 7, and so on. And then after we list down the elements of event A, we need to count the elements. So we have 6 elements from there. And then let be the event that a 3 appears on one of the dice. So here in event B, all of the elements have number 3. So after we list down the elements, we need to count it, and we will have 11 elements. The next step is identify the intersection of A and B. So number 3 and 4, and then 4 and 3 is belong to both A and B. Makikita nyo siya dito na uh, nag-intersect siya yung 3 and 4 and then 4, 3 sa A and B natin. So the number of A intersection B is equal to 2 elements. So solve natin yung letter A. One of the dice shows a 3 if it is known that the sum is 7. So since we already know the value of event A, event B, and then A intersection B, we need to find the probability of B given that A is occurred. So meaning, yung B natin is yung event that 3 appears on one of the dice. Since ito yung kailangan hanapin, and then yung given lang natin is yung the sum is 7. So nirepresent natin siya as event A. So ayan, since kailangan natin hanapin si probability of B, ito yung gagamitin na formula. And then substitute natin yung value. The number of A intersection B is equal to 2. And then the number of A is equal to 6. So simplify or lowest term natin, we will have 1/3 as our final answer. So therefore, the probability if one of the dice shows a 3, if it is known that the sum is 7, is 1/3. In letter B, the sum is 7 if it is known that one of the dice shows a 3. So ito naman yung ating given. Yung a dice shows a 3. So ganun pa rin yung representation natin. Let A be the event that the sum is 7, and B the event that a 3 appears on one of the dice. So since kailangan nating hanapin yung sum is 7, yung probability of sum is 7. So ito siya, event A siya. So kailangan nating hanapin si event A. So ngayon may value na tayo dito. Same process lang. Identify natin or substitute natin yung value ng number of A intersection B is equal to 2, and then the number of B is equal to 11. So that's the final answer. Therefore, the probability that the sum is 7 if it is known that one of the dice shows a 3 is 2/11. Next example. 350 returning OFW were quarantined in 2 different locations, which is the Nova Hotel and Diplomat Lodge. After the mandatory 14-day quarantine, they were interviewed whether they were satisfied or dissatisfied on the services available during the quarantine. The following table summarizes their responses. So the question is, if one person from the 350 OFWs is chosen at random, find the probability that the person is not satisfied, given that he stayed at Diplomat Lodge. So, identify which is the event A and then event B. Yung event A natin is the person is not satisfied. And then the given is the event B, which is the people who stayed at Diplomat Lodge. So ito siya. Let A be the event that the person is not satisfied, and let B the event that the person stayed at Diplomat Lodge. Since event A, tukuyin natin kung sino yung mga person na hindi satisfied. So from the table, tingnan natin yung mga table sa dissatisfied. So there is a total of 80 person na dissatisfied sa services ng mga hotel. And then sa event B naman, be the event that the person stayed at Diplomat Lodge. So tukuyin natin yung mga tao na nagstay sa Diplomat Lodge. So there is a 153 person who stayed in Diplomat Lodge, and the intersection A and B, bilangin natin kung or tukuyin natin kung sino yung mga tao na um, na hindi satisfied, and then at the same time nagstay siya sa Diplomat Lodge. So makikita natin ito, dissatisfied, and then sa Diplomat Lodge nagstay. So there is a 26 people na dissatisfied sa services ng Diplomat Lodge. That is our intersection for A and B. Maliwanag po. So since we need to find the person that is not or we need to find the probability that the person is not satisfied. So that is our event A. Given that he stayed at Diplomat Lodge, so that event B is our given that already occurred. So since meron tayong letter B or event B na given, probability of A naman yung hahanapin natin. So tukuyin natin or substitute natin ilan yung number of A intersection B. We have 26. And then yung number of B natin is 153. So 26 over 153 is our final answer. Therefore, the probability that the person is not satisfied, given that he stayed at Diplomat Hotel, is 26 over 153. So number 3, or example number 3, in a survey among the grade 10 parents, 68% have smartphones. So that will be our event A. And then 22% have basic phones and smartphones. Basically, or automatically, that is our intersection since mayroon tayong word na end. And the question is, what is the probability that a parent has a basic phone given that he or she has a smartphone? So maliwanag na meron tayong event A na given, and we need to find the event B. So the formula that we need to do is probability of B given that A is occurred is equal to number of A intersection B over number of A. So tukuyin natin or substitute natin yung number of A intersection B. Ilan nga ba? So sa 20%, pag kinonvert natin siya in decimal, we will have 0.22 over 0.68 or yung 68% na parents na may smartphone. So maliwanag po sa pagtukoy ng event A and event B. Una, pag tutukoy tayo ng event A, tignan na lang natin kung sino yung mauunang event na lalabas. Since dito sa problem na to, smartphones yung nauna, ayun na automatically yung event A natin. So lalabas na dyan yung intersection, and then yung hahanapin natin dyan is yung event B, probability of event B. So ayan, so 0.22 over 0.68, divisible siya by 2. So 0.22 divided by 2, and then 0.68 divided by 2 is equal to 0.11 over 0.34. Or 0, pag divide natin yan, we will have 0.3235, and then pag times natin yan sa 100%, we will have 32.35%, and that is our final answer. And number 4, find the probability that it is a Monday and the teacher will give a quiz is 2%. Again, the probability that it is a Monday and at that the teacher will give a quiz is 2%. So meaning that is the intersection. May word tayo na end dyan. So that is the clue word sa pag-identify ng intersection. So the next thing is, since there are 5 school days in a week, the probability that it is a Monday is 0.2 or 20%. What is the probability that the teacher will give a quiz given that today is Monday? So maliwanag ulit na nag-occur si event A. And then we need to find the probability of B. And if we need to find the probability of B, this formula is the thing that we need to use or to use. So the number of A intersection B is equal to 0.02 because that is our intersection, given na siya. And then the number of A is equal to 0.2 or 0.20. And then 0.02 divided by 2. Again, ilo-lowest term lang natin sila. Try natin sila i-lowest term as possible since divisible sila by 2. 0.02 divided by 2 and then 0.20 divided by 2, we will have 0.01 over 0.10. And that will be 0.1 or 10% if we convert it into percentage. So ayan. So there is an activity named that I think you are ready for this. So direction, read and analyze the problem, then solve for the probability of each event. Write your answers as a reduced fraction. So please click pause kapag sasagutan nyo na siya. And then after nyo masagutan or masolve, i-click nyo na lang ulit yung play dito sa video for us to or for me to reveal the correct solution. So since tapos na kayo magsagot, i-reveal na natin yung solution. So in number 1, a mathematics teacher gave her class 2 tests. 25% of the class passed both tests. So meaning ito yung intersection natin, intersection ng A and B. And then 42% of the class passed the first test. Ibig sabihin, ito na yung event A natin. The number of A is equal to 42% or 0.42. The question is, what percent of those who passed the first test also passed the second test? Since ang given lang natin dito is event A, meaning, paano natin nalaman na event A? Because nalaman natin kung sino yung ano yung first test, yung result or yung percentage na nakapasa sa first test. And then for us to determine the percentage na nakapasa sa second test, we need to find the probability for that. So probability of B, given that A is occurred, is equal to number of A intersection B, that is equivalent to 0.25, and the number of A is equal to 0.42. So 25 0.25 divided by 0.42 is equal to 0.5952. If we multiply it in 100%, we will have 59.52%. Number 2, an octahedral die, a die with 8 faces numbered 1 to 8 is tossed. What is the probability that the number turns up to be odd given that it is a less than 5? So event A natin will be odd number, and then there is a 1, 3, 5, and then 7. Count the number of elements. We have 4 elements in number of A, and the event B is less than 5. Identify which is the number that belongs to less than 5. We will have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the number of B is equal to 4 elements, and the intersection of A and B is equal to 1 and 3. Since we have 1 and 3, there is a 2 elements. So we need to find the probability of A. So ayan, probability of A given that B is occurred. Substitute lang natin yung value niyan, and we will have the final answer. So ayan, for your assessment, answer this problem. And once you solve it, send it to me in Messenger, and I will check that. And again, I am Rodel Calzas, and thank you everyone